Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The Ohio State Buckeyes have done it again. They're on an absolute heater in the 2024 class, and they do it again at the wide receiver position. Mylan Graham, a bona fide five-star, the number one player from the state of Indiana, has committed to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Brian Hartline, not even slowly. I mean, he has proven that he is one of the best recruiters in the whole entire country, and the recruiting pitch for these elite wide receivers is getting easier and easier for Brian Hartline and company. You want to go in the first round in the NFL draft, come to Ohio State. You think about just the talent they've produced at the wide receiver position just over the last couple of years, right? Chris Olave, Garrett Williams, JSN in this draft, Marvin Harrison Jr. next year, Emeka Egbuka, Julian Fleming probably going to be going to. The amount of talent that they have pumped out into the NFL is next level, and there's no doubt in my mind that's sitting very, very in the forefront of these recruits' minds in the sense of where they're deciding to go to school. You even saw in Mylan's interview, Brian Hartline, the proof is in the pudding. That's what he said, and he's taking his talents to Columbus, Ohio. Now, again, before we get into it, I just want to say thank you to you guys. It's just been a blast talking ball with you guys in the comment section and talking the recruiting game. If you guys do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate, for real, all the support you guys have shown. Now, let's get into Mylan Graham. And we'll take a look at this Ohio State class in 2024, talk about some prospects that are on the horizon. But Mylan Graham, what jumps out at you here is just how smooth he is as an athlete and his ability to go yards after the catch. And quite frankly, as a basketball player, has phenomenal hands at the catch point. There's a reason pretty much every Power 5 team in the country wanted Mylan Graham's commitment. You look at some of the contenders. I know Alabama. I know Michigan. He obviously chooses Ohio State, and for good reason. The amount of talent that is being injected into this program from a playmaker standpoint is next level. You can go back and look at the 2023 class, right? Brandon Innes, Carnell Tate, Noah Rogers in the 2023 class. And then in the 2024 class, and it is very early, you have Jeremiah Smith and Mylan Graham, two of the best wide receivers in that 2024 class. Now, my big thing is here. There's a lot of momentum for the Ohio State Buckeyes, right? Landing James Peoples, one of the best running backs in the class Sunday night out of the state of Texas. It's all leading up to Aaron Nolan's commitment this weekend, and I think this is a massive commitment for Ohio State. We talked a little bit about it on Sunday, but the picture for Aaron Nolan is getting even more enticing to take his talents to Columbus. If you go to Ohio State, you are throwing to some of the best wide receivers in the country. You look at the guys that we just listed in the 2023 class and now the guys in the 2024 class. And Aaron Nolan has a pretty, you would think, kind of an easy path to starting for Ohio State, right? Because obviously with the Dylan Raiola decommit, the 2023 quarterback class in Lincoln Kienholz is probably not the caliber of quarterback. I'm not saying he's a bad player, and I think he certainly can be productive for Ohio State, but not necessarily the caliber player Ohio State is used to getting at the quarterback position. And so in this 2024 class, Aaron Nolan is a massive, massive target for Ohio State, because what Dylan Raiola did is not only did he hurt the 2024 recruiting, right? When you have Dylan Raiola locked up, you're not really shopping yourself around for other quarterbacks in that class, but it also hurt the 2023 class because a lot of those five-star guys didn't want to come in knowing that Dylan Raiola was already committed to Ohio State in 2024, a generational talent. So they didn't necessarily land the caliber quarterback they wanted in the 2023 class. And then obviously they got a late start in the 2024 class. But Aaron Nolan would be a phenomenal get for Ohio State. And I think the Mylan Graham commitment here is absolutely massive in trying to entice Aaron Nolan to take his talents to Ohio State. And when you looked at his top 7, I mean, it seems like it's between Ohio State, Texas A&M, and Alabama out of the top 7 teams that he listed. Bama already has their 2024 guy locked up in Julian Sain. Texas A&M, if you're a quarterback, why are you going to take your talents to Jimbo Fisher? I mean, I know they got Bobby Petrino, but if I'm a quarterback, which I'm certainly not, I'm 5'8", 160 pounds. But if I was a stud like Aaron Nolan, 6'3", 200 pounds with a rocket arm, I'd want to go play for Ohio State and not Texas A&M in that Jimbo Fisher offense. Ohio State has pumped out a lot of quarterbacks into the NFL, and you also know you're going to be surrounded by not only one of the best offensive-minded head coaches in the country in Ryan Day. Say what you will about him being a head coach. He knows how to run a damn good offense. You're also going to be throwing to some of the best wide receivers in the country. I think it makes a lot of sense for Aaron Nolan to come to Ohio State, and I think it's a massive, massive get because if they don't land Aaron Nolan, one, a lot of these 2024 quarterbacks already committed, already locked into their schools, and two, the 2023 class was not necessarily the talent that you want in Lincoln Kienholz. I want to focus a little bit more on Mylan Graham. I feel like we're talking about Aaron Noland as if Ohio State, we just didn't land a 5-star and an absolute beauty. I mean, when you look at this guy, not only is he a former basketball player I like him because he's kind of that NFL type wide receiver where he's not necessarily the biggest or fastest, although he's big and fast. He's more of a smooth mover, right? And after the catch, he's an absolute weapon. I'm just going to show a couple clips to just show what I mean here. Taking the ball here, and you'll see what I mean. When he has the ball in his hand, his change of direction is just next level. Obviously, and I said he's not the biggest fastest. He's pretty damn fast, as you see here. He is such a fluid and smooth mover. When you look at the wide receivers that are succeeding at the college and NFL level, it's the guys who are smooth movers. He obviously is a phenomenal returner too. I absolutely love that, especially at the college football level where you want to get the ball out quickly to your playmakers. Mylan Graham's one of those guys that you just want to get him as many touches as you can because when he has the ball in his hand, he's just a different caliber player. You're going to see one more here. And again, you see this high school team. Let's just get the ball to Mylan Graham. That's disgusting. Making these guys, and then elite acceleration. That's about all we need to talk about for Mylan Graham here. I think you guys get a sense of how good he is. Taking a look at this 2024 class and how it's coming together, it was a slow start. Michigan fans were dancing on the graves of Ohio State. You saw that on Twitter. I mean, they're coming along. Jeremiah Smith, bona fide, I think he could be like a next Marvin Harrison. If you watch Jeremiah Smith highlights, this is some next level stuff for him. You have Mylan Graham. You have James Peoples locked in. You're obviously after guys like Bryce West, Justin Scott on the defensive line, all from the Midwest area. Aaron Noland. I think Ohio State fans have to be locked in on what Aaron Noland is going to do because, again, you have all these wide receivers. You want to trust a quarterback that's going to throw them the ball. Aaron Noland's a guy that 24/7 absolutely loves, kind of a late riser, but in terms of an arm that can make all the throws that you want at the college football level, Aaron Noland absolutely has that. That's going to be a massive one for Ohio State this weekend. And if that comes together, you're looking at once again, at this point, it's Ohio State. It's pumping out top 3 classes pretty much every year, but you want to lock in your quarterback, obviously the most important position that you have on the football field. Aaron Noland, quite frankly, what is the holdup with Ohio State? You're going to come in, be coached by one of the best offensive-minded head coaches in the country. You're going to be throwing to some of the best wide receivers in the country, and you're going to have a good offensive line because Ohio State recruits that position just as well as anyone else too. It seems to all be coming together for the Buckeyes. And again, a late start. Michigan fans were having their fun on Twitter with how good Michigan was. And that's not to say Michigan is not putting together a phenomenal class. But Ohio State's still doing what they've been doing for the last decade and still getting that talent. Now you obviously want to see it continued to translate on the field, but that'll do it again. Ohio State getting it done on the recruiting trail, especially at that wide receiver position. Brian Hartline continuing to just show why he is one of the best recruiters in the country. Appreciate you guys checking us out. If you do enjoy the content, again, consider subscribing to the channel. The support you guys have shown truly means a lot. We appreciate it, and we'll talk to y'all later.